Hello folks, welcome to the first part of the RPG tutorial series. Finally got everything set up and in place so I can actually record these now, so let's get started. In order to get started, the first thing you're going to need to do, which I'm sure you've already done if you're YouTubing Unreal Engine tutorial videos, is make sure you actually have the engine. So go to unrealengine.com, click download, it'll guide you through the whole thing, and just get out of here. You get out of here too. And give you this little icon, Epic Games Launcher, once the whole thing's installed. And this will have the Unreal Engine tab. You'll need to, I believe you have to install an engine. I don't remember if it comes automatically with the download, so pick an engine version, download it. This tutorial series should work in any engine version. I'm going to be using 4.23 just because I'm mid-project on my own game and I'm super deathly afraid of updating mid-project because I've done that once before and then lost everything. Don't want to do that again, but download an engine, should work in any version, and then we will work on getting our project set up. Now, for yours, you're going to want to go to New Project. I'm going to be doing this in the third person. Okay, the third person map. So pick third person, title it whatever you like, and hit Create Project. I already have one set up, so I'm going to be using that one. Today we're going to be getting the player character set up, and I'll be showing you a few cool sites like Mixamo and where to get some free assets to actually start working on your project. So in this this thing, if you click Marketplace, don't worry, it's all free. So that looks cool. I don't know what that is, but I like it. But if you go here to free at the Marketplace at the top, come down to the permanently free collection, and they have all kinds of free goodies for you to use. So to get started, we're going to be using quite a few of these, but to get started, all you'll need is weapon kit. Double check. Yeah, the weapon kit. Craft resources. That'll be a little bit later on, but it's a small download. So. Yeah, getting the character implemented, you're pretty much just out of the permanently free, you'll just need the weapons. And under Epic Games content, go in here into the search products, type in Infinity, and you'll want these weapons too, because we're going to use those pretty much out the gate. We'll be using, some of these are pretty substantial download, which we'll be using these for the adversaries, the effects, and a bit more from the permanently free, like the treasures and the animals, because we're going to go over how to skin and harvest animal pieces, and the good sky, just because it's pretty. It's a pretty sky. Some more of the stuff in here, like we'll be using the water materials and the human vocalization so that we can make our character actually grunt when they jump and get hit and all that. The fantasy music pack, it's really pretty stuff, I like it. And I think that's it. So, yeah, just get those downloading, but if you want to just follow along straight from the gate, like I said, it's just that. Yeah, the weapons and stuff, so the ones we saw. And then open it up, you'll import them all, which I'll show you how to import them. But first thing you're going to need to do is get your character. Now there's this website called Mixamo, mixamo.com. It has a lot of free characters, animations, all kinds of cool stuff. So this is the character I'm going to use as the player, just because of the ones available. I kind of like that look. And we'll be using, where are you at? What page? Oh, there you are. And we'll be using this one as our main human enemy character. So we'll be going through and getting animations for each one, and so you can click over to the animations tab and be able to select whatever animations you want. But what I've done is I've already downloaded all of the this is hidden right now, but there'll be a link in the description that'll take you to this page, and then you can click here, and when the video is live you'll be able to download, and it has this folder in it, characters and animations, close, and it has the player character and all of the animations we'll be using for it. So if you don't want to go through the Mixamo hassle, just download that file and I'll show you how to import it. So inside the engine, sorry my hands are cold, but inside the engine, in our third person blueprints folder, find the blueprints one. It has the mannequin character in it. So you can scroll down through here through the content folder and find a third person BP blueprints with the little drop down, which will actually, if you right click it, you can go to set color, and I'm going to turn that to a dark blue. Just so, well, it's purple. It doesn't matter, that works. So you can distinguish it easier. And then the blueprints, which will hold all of the rest of our files, I'll make a light blue. So right click, set color, oh, new color, make it light blue, because it's so pretty. And now in this light blue blueprints folder, right click, hit new folder, and we're going to call this character components. Double click to open, and right click in another new folder, and player pieces. Double click and open that. Right here above the content browser is an import button. Find that folder that you had, and you want to import the Akai whatever that says, the character first. You just want the character to begin with because it has to build the skeleton and everything for the animations to be applied to. So open that. Make sure it's all set up basically like this. Skeleton set to none, that way it automatically imports the one associated. Make sure it imports the textures, because otherwise she's a gray nothing. Import all. And no smoothing group, that means nothing really. And now we have the character in. And she's shiny. Why are you shiny? To fix that, just double click that one right there, the material, open it up, and it'll bring you to this graph. Hold 1 on the keyboard and left click, it'll give you a constant node, set its value to 1, and hook it to the roughness value, and that should make her a little less shiny. Although, you know, she's wearing leather, so I guess like a 0.8. Damn, I could get hung up on it. That works for me. Alright. So, back in the character components, when you go back one, we will create another folder and call it player animations. Double click and open that. Click the import button and just so just click the top one and go down to the bottom, hold shift, left click on the last one, and it'll highlight all of them. Make sure you don't have the character, otherwise it might get messed up. But then click open. Make sure click import mesh is set to don't do that. And in the skeleton, pick the characters skeleton. I really don't know how to say that, but Akai. And then set the skeleton. Don't gotta worry about textures, none of that. So import all, and give it a second to do its thing. Sorry about my squeaky chair. It's a squeaker. Takes a minute. Takes a minute. So how about them Knicks? It's pretty much just going to be silence and squeaks for just a hot minute. We're only going to do the player right now. We'll do the enemy later once we get towards doing its AI and stuff like that. We'll just section it off into its own video. Right now we're just going to get the character in, running, jumping, blah blah, you know, doing character stuff. Because characters are only cool when they do character stuff. Alright, there you go. It's going to do a double import, so you'll have a bunch of them where it's still just the T-pose. Just ignore that. So, back out here in the character components. Now we got the player animations folder, the player pieces folder, and we are now going to right-click, create animation blueprint on our Akai bleh skeleton. I'm going to call that player anim_BP. And then we're going to right-click again, animation, blend space 1D. That's one direction, so it only moves forward and backward, basically, on our player skeleton again. And I'm going to call it locomotion. Just because I like trains. Stupid, I know. Let's see. Alright, so double click the blend space 1D one. It'll open up this folder, file, page, whatever. And over here on the left, we can click that drop down arrow and set our horizontal axis, which this is the axis. So we'll be blending between nothing over here and all our animations along the graph. Call it speed, because it's my favorite Keanu Reeves movie. No, I'm kidding, it's John Wick. So that we know what variable to adjust the animations along. And for our max value, I like 450. Engine default's running at 600, but it just seems to move too quick for these animations. 450 is a decent, you know, decent speed. I like it. And then through your little asset browser down here in the bottom right, you'll come to find the unarmed idle and put it right at the beginning. And look, now she's standing like a standing person. Isn't that neat? Alright, and now up here, look for Swagger Walk. Make sure you grab the Mixamo and not the Take 001s, because those are the T-pose. So the Mixamo_com, and boom, now she's walking. There you go. And where is run? Sword and shield run, not sword and shield run. Running. So we'll set the running to right there. And now she can go from standing still, walking, to running, and we will just go ahead and add running to the very end all the way, so it's walking, running. If you want a little bit more fine-tuned control, just because I feel like I'm going to add another little in-between sections, there's number of grid divisions over here. Bump that to 6, and then where's that swagger walk? Get that pimp strut going. And then that way the walk continues on a little bit further along than just 113 on the vector length. And then it'll shift to running at about there. So that'll work a little bit better. You can leave it at 4 if you want. Should work just about the same, but I like 6 personally. Alright, and that's pretty much all we need for that. So click save, back to the map, open this player. Oh, first thing you need to do is set our mesh inside of our third-person character blueprint. So back in the third-person BP folder, double-click blueprints, find this mannequin-looking fella. Click him once, wait a second, click him again. I'm going to rename that to player_BP just for ease of remembrance. And then double-click that to open it up. And we can get rid of touch input, so holding left click and boom like that, you can box select, hit delete, because we don't need that one. And same thing on that one, because we don't need that one. And one thing, just because I always forget until it's like, why is she screaming multiple times on a jump? So, right here on the jump section, if you hold B on the keyboard and left click, it'll give you what's called a branch, and this is a yes or no based on a variable. So I'm going to connect the pressed to that and false to that one because we're going to grab out our character movement, bring it over here, drag off of it and say is falling. Now if you're like me and you OCD for some reason, you can select both of them and hit Q and it'll straighten up those lines because it bugs the crap out of me. But we hook this to that, and that way if this button is pressed while they are falling, it'll do nothing. But if they're not falling, then they'll jump. This probably seems mundane at the moment, but later on we'll be adding a sound effect in between here. And if this isn't hooked up like this, then she'll just it's ridiculous. So anyway, click right here on the viewport and you'll see your little mannequin guy just kind of standing there with his standing legs. Over here on the right, this is called the details panel, and this outlines everything associated with this component selected. So right here under mesh, click that drop down. Ooh, I'm not searching through all that. Just type in Akai, and boom, there she go. There she be. Compile that. Now we don't have anything really set up yet. Well, we can go ahead and set the animation blueprint. Anim class. Right above where the mesh is, there's this animation tab. We want to be using animation blueprint, anim class, player anim BP. Nothing will change right now because we don't have that set up just yet. But since it's already built, may as well go ahead and select it. Now, back under blueprints in our folder where we set the character components and the player anim BP, double click that one to open it. It'll bring you to this anim graph, which we need to set up a state machine. So right click, type in state machine. I almost said click in state machine, but you want to type in because clicking in does nothing. Hook that to this running man, double click, drag off of the entry and hit add state, and I'm going to call this init, just because I always call it that because that's initializing, so just short for, yeah, I'm just going to initialize and double click the initialize. Over here in the asset browser, you'll see this orange paper with the locomotion. Drag it out. This is your blend space 1D that we set up earlier, and you'll see that that vector that we set up is speed now, but we don't have anything to hook to this yet, so we'll go over to the event graph right here where it says event blueprint update animation. If you hold S on the keyboard and left click, it'll give you a sequence node. You can remember these by sequence, branch, all that. But we'll go over every time I use them all. Hello. It's all good. Go ahead. I am recording though, but
if you could pause that for just long enough to run up to the dollar store for me.
Yes, I can. In just a minute, I'm almost done with the first part. So no problem.
Okay, whenever you get there.
Okay, I just need probably about another 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. And so we'll hold S, left click, it'll add a sequence node from the first one, then 0, because arrays start at 0. You'll get used to that. It takes a bit, but you get used to it. Type in cast to player, and you want to find the player BP that we renamed the mannequin to. And drag over this try get pawn owner, because when you're casting inside of the anim graph, that's the one you got to use. And as player BP, I want to promote that to a variable called player ref. So just drag off like that, and it's right at the very top to promote it to a variable. But from the set variable node, we want to get the velocity. It's a fancy word for speed. And we want to get the rotation. We want to get the actor rotation. Got to be that one. And from the get actor rotation, we'll bring out and type CA. It should bring up calculate direction. And we'll plug the velocity and the rotation into that one. Drag it up just a tiny bit. And from the get velocity, I want to drag underneath calculate direction and get vector. Nope. You want to do just vector length. That's right, not get vector length, just vector length. Alright. From the calculate direction, drag off, promote that to a variable called direction. This will tell you, this will measure your speed and the direction you're facing and tell you which direction your character should be traveling. So off this set player ref, we drag off and set that one. Off of vector length, we promote to variable again, call that speed, and this will measure our velocity over a certain length and tell us how fast we got to there, and basically what our speed is. Compile that, now you'll see she'll shift, go over to initialize, down here in the variables list, grab the speed, set it up, boom pow, just like that. Alright, and that is while we're in here, so we can go ahead and set up the jump so you can run around and jump. Just box select the try get pawn owner and cast to player BP. Hold Control and push C on the keyboard, and then Control and V, and it'll copy and paste. Or if you need to, you can copy and then well, I guess there's no way to actually. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. But we'll hook that to the second one, drop it down just a little bit further, and then off of the as player BP we'll get is falling, just like we set up on the jump function. Off of the return value, drag off, promote to variable, and call it jumping. And that will tell the anim graph every time your character is in the air to set this variable to jumping. So that over here in this, we can back this up a little bit. Right click, type in blend by bool. A bool is this red. A boolean is basically like a yes or a no. So it checks to see, are you doing something? If you're not, then we'll do one animation set. And if you are, then we find the fall loop. Plug that in. Make sure you plug in that jumping variable to there. And there you go. Now it'll check to see if you're jumping. If you're not, then you're doing your locomotion blend space. And if you are, then you're doing this lovely little jumping animation. So back at, oh, what was that? Oh wow, okay. Back here, now you'll see that the character actually has her arms down instead of being all T-pose like that. Sorry about that. So we'll click Save All. Jeez, okay. Yeah, Save All. And then we'll click Play. And then you'll see she can run around and jump. And just like that, you got the first character set up and running around the little thing. And it didn't take no time at all. So I guess that'll be it for the first video. This one was kind of long probably. I lost track of time. That's my bad. But I'll be back with the second part real soon. I just gotta run to the store real quick. So, yeah. Thanks for stopping by and checking it out. Look forward to seeing you again. Sorry. Alright, see you soon. Bye.